In today's video, I am going to teach you how to create a correlation matrix in Excel. A correlation matrix is a simple way to see how strongly different variables move together. Before we build it, make sure your data is already in Excel, with each variable in its own column. Also check that you have a clean range of numbers, because correlation works best with numeric values. In the next few moments, you will use one of Excel's built-in analysis tools to generate the matrix for you. First, click the Data tab on the top ribbon. This is where Excel places many analysis features, including the tool we need for correlations. After you switch to the Data tab, look for the Analyze group. You do not need to change anything else yet. Just focus your attention on that part of the ribbon. Next, click Data Analysis in the Analyze group. Depending on your Excel version, the button may be clearly labeled, and it might open a dialog box. If you do not see Data Analysis, that usually means the Analysis toolpack is not enabled. But for the purposes of this walkthrough, we will assume it is available and visible on your screen. Once you click it, a list of analysis options will appear. Now from the list, select Correlation and click OK. This tells Excel that you want a correlation matrix, which compares each column in your input range against every other column. When you click OK, Excel will open the settings window where you can define the input range and where the results should go. Then click the Input Range box and select the cells that contain your data. For example, in this common layout, the input range might be cells A, 1 through C5. When you select the range, you should see Excel highlight those cells and fill in the input range field automatically. Take a moment to confirm that the range includes only the columns you want to compare, and that it includes all rows of data. If you accidentally include blank cells or extra text, the correlation calculation may not behave as expected. At this point, Excel will ask you to group by columns. Keep the setting by columns, because your variables are arranged in columns. This matches the usual structure where each column is a separate variable and each row is a separate observation. The matrix will be computed column by column, which is what you want for a typical dataset. Next, check the Labels in First Row option if you included headers. If your first row contains variable names, such as sales or marketing spend, and those names are meant to label the columns, then you should enable this option. If your first row is not a header and is instead part of the numeric data, then you should not check that box. Matching this setting correctly helps ensure that Excel uses your labels for the matrix rows and columns. Now you are ready to choose where the output will appear. Select Output Range and type cell E1. By placing the output starting at E1, you are telling Excel to put the correlation matrix into the sheet beginning in that cell. This keeps the results separated from your input data, which makes it easier to read and avoids overwriting any values you already have. After you set Output Range to cell E1, click OK to generate your matrix. Excel will calculate the correlation coefficients and fill in the resulting grid starting at that location. When it finishes, you should see a square matrix where each variable is compared to every other variable, including itself. The diagonal values typically show correlations of a variable with itself, which are generally equal to 1. Finally, review the results to make sure the matrix is placed correctly and labeled as expected. The correlation values will appear in the grid, and you can use them to understand which variables move together and which ones move in opposite directions. A correlation close to 1 indicates a strong positive relationship, while a correlation close to -1 indicates a strong negative relationship, and values near 0 suggest little or no linear relationship. That covers everything you need to know, and that is all there is to it.